All right, so I'm recording now. All right, so basically what's going to happen is once you have the price established, plug in the price up here, the full retail price. So let's say that, whenever you added up everything from the book, that it came to 24,569. I don't know, I just made that number up. So it came to that. So you'll see that it populated these three spots that you can see me highlighting. Populated the estimated monthly payment, which it tells you right above it is a 9.99 unsecured for 5 years. And then it has the total price, which will change once you put in deposits and discounts, or it will change once you put in discounts. And then the balance will change once you put in discounts and deposit. So once that number's in here, you'll see that down here, you have the payment showing. And so anything that you tap in here is going to change the payment. Now it's a little tricky because right now, if you tap it again while the blue box is selected, that's going to pop up where it says cut, copy, delete, sell actions. So you would need to tap in it one more time or tap somewhere else, like tap over here and then tap back in it, and then you can switch it. So if I want to switch again, I would have to go over there and then go back up here. So make sure that you don't edit any of these boxes. You don't need to edit anything except for the blue ones. And in order to change the plan, if you've already selected one, you're going to have to tap out and tap back in. All right. So now going back up to the top, basically what it boils down to is now that this information's in there, I'm going to have a conversation with the customer. I'll explain what the conversation sounds like in a second. I'll do a brief role play with myself. But the important thing for you to know is that you want to have the 9.9 selected, 9.9 for 5 years with 3 months, no interest, no payments. And then whenever you get into your discounts, like I tapped that discount on, it put in 30% off. And then I have this set at 10% right there, 10% off of the existing of the total price. So it ends up giving the customer a true 40%. Like you can do the math with the calculator, whatever, it will do a true 40%. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn those off. So at this point, any questions as to how it works? And I can't see you, so you'll have to unmute yourself and tell me yes or no.
Okay, no.
Okay, cool. All right, so then this is the basic flow of the price presentation. And just like everything else that I taught you, there are some critical and key components to it, but you're gonna put a little bit of your own flair on it. But this is the flow. So you're gonna do the recap first. And if you look back in your training book, I have all of this written for you in the price presentation where it has orange text and it has blue text in it. So you can reference that after we get off the phone, and hopefully this video records. I don't know that it's doing it, but that will, you can reference both of these things and practice and do whatever. So I'm gonna do the recap first, which is just going over the project, making it sound really big. You're even talking about the colors on the outside, the color on the inside, where you're doing tempering, where what style the window is, the fact that it comes with a screen, that this includes your double lifetime warranty, so you and the next homeowner are covered. All right, so you do the whole recap, and there's an example of it in the write-up. So you do the whole recap, and it needs to make them really feel like, wow, there's a lot that I'm getting out of this. There's a lot that I'm getting, because once you show them the money, you want them to have a very clear picture in their mind of what you just painted, that they're getting a lot for this money, because they're going to feel like it's a lot of money right out the gate. You don't hurry into your discounts. You have a conversation right here with them, and that's only just to give them some time to actually come to grips with this number. So that way, once you discount it, it's just like I was telling you about the old lady and the coupons at the grocery store. People want to see that discount. They want to know that it's a valid promotion. And we want them to feel like, wow, this is a real good deal that I'm getting. So the conversation sounds like this. All right, guys. And let me say this too. I haven't shown them the price yet whenever I'm saying this. And you'll hear whenever I roll out the price. So, all right, guys, I've got everything put together for your project. And this includes all of the windows and doors in the entire home. And so you're getting, everything is going to be refreshed and energy efficient and beautiful and work and safe and do all of the things that we've talked about. We're going to be doing sliding windows on most of the bedrooms upstairs. The only exception to that is in the master bedroom. And so up in little Tommy's room, you know, it's going to be very similar operation to what he has right now, just going side to side. We'll be putting grills between the glass on it. Of course, that comes with a screen, so he can open up the windows and not worry about having anything fly in. And we're doing them dark bronze on the exterior with a white on the interior. I think that's going to look amazing. That's what you wanted, right? Yes, that's what I wanted. Okay, cool. Moving on to Sam's room. So Sam's room right next door, it's going to be the exact same. And all the same features and benefits, the energy efficiencies that we talked about, and keeping the heat and the cold and all of that stuff where it belongs. And then after that, we get into your room. Your room's a little different. You have the couple of windows that are by the bed that go up and down. And then you've got the French door. The color combinations are going to stay the same on all of the products, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. All right. I want to make that sound kind of big. All right. So total for your project is 24,569. And then you're going to just sit on it for a few seconds, a brief pause. All right, 24,569, because you want that number to absorb into them. And then you're going to say this. So, oh man, sorry. So let's just go. I'm just going to do it without interrupting myself. So total for your project is 24,569. Now, seeing a number like that, there's a few different ways that the families that I serve typically tackle that number. One way is that you could do a minimum monthly payment. And if you were to go out and try and secure some unsecured funds, most likely the rates that you're going to see are 20%, 19%, something along those lines. But you might be able to get a 9.99 unsecured fixed interest rate loan. And if you were to do that for like 5 years, you'd be looking at a payment roughly of 521. All right. Now, some people like to do cash, which the way cash works is basically 50-50. I'll break it down a little in more detail if that's what you decide you want to do. And so it's 50% down and then the other 50% whenever we complete the project. And alternatively, there's also same as cash programs that are available, where if this is a number that you wanted to pay off in 12 months, then you could have 0% for 12 months. So having said all of that, if you were to do this project, and I'm only saying if, but if you were to do this, how would you tackle the 24,569? And then they're going to say back to you, well, I really don't know. You know, that's a lot of money and we'll have to take some time to think about it. And then you're going to say, okay, you know, I completely understand that. You know, whenever I'm spending any money really, and especially with the amount that it's going to cost to get the windows done right, then I completely understand that. But I'm only saying if you were, do you feel like you would be leaning more towards a monthly payment or same as cash or cash? Like, where are you at? And at that point, they'll actually give you an answer typically because you made it really soft because you used the if frame. If we use the if frame, if you were to do this, all right, I'm only saying if, and if you do that, then it'll be very soft. And ultimately, you don't really care what their answer is because we're still going to present payments because earlier on in the appointment, we asked them to keep an open mind. All right, we asked them to keep an open mind. So you're still going to present payments. All right, so at that point now I've asked them, you know, I'm just saying if you were to do this, you know, what way would probably make the most sense to you? And then they'll probably give me an answer and they'll say, well, I don't know, we don't like to pay interest, so we'd probably do a same as cash plan, or we'd probably pay cash or something like that. Okay, great. You know, I understand that. You know, like I said before, we all want to make sure we're getting the best deal or the best price that we possibly can, and the way you pay for it can figure into that. So I understand that completely. Well, I know that a lot of families that I work with, so now I'm scrolling down here, a lot of families that I work with like to put a little bit of money down. And right now we have some promotions, and of course they're time sensitive. The one that we're running right now is a 40% off promotion. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and that price is going to be good. Really till the end of the day, really till the end of our visit, and I'll show you exactly why I say that. However, there are some discounts that if you want to take a little bit more time, you can go ahead and take advantage of those. So let's just look at the 521 a month. And then typically I see people put something down. And a lot of times that'll be roughly a third. So I'm just going to plug in a third right here as a deposit. And that lowers your payment from 521, which I have that to reference up here. That lowers your payment from 521 all the way down to 347. All right. So now, before you tell me, oh, Isaiah, that's crazy, the 8,200 or whatever it is down, let me just explain how it works. And so let me ask you, how do you feel about the 347? You always want to start by asking about the payment. All right. So how do you feel about the 347? Is that a number you can make work every month? All right. So at that point, I like to use make work, because I don't want to say squeeze into the budget, or I don't want to put them into a negative mindset by having them think about their budget. And so is that something that you can make work? A little bit of smile in your voice. And well, I mean, we could make it work. If they give you some hesitation like that, like I just did with the little humming and hawing or whatever, then you really want to be able to say, well, guys, look, I don't want, this to be something that you have to completely stretch for and make it kind of hard. What if we got the payment down to like, 280, 300, something like that? Would that feel more comfortable? And then they'll probably say, oh yeah, okay, great, I understand. So we want to get the payment around 280, 300. An easy way to do that. Now, you don't ask any questions after that. You're just telling them that because you got a commitment to that number. An easy way to do that is to put more money down. And so I'm going to change this up here to, let's just go with 10. And that gets us to 309. Let me try and do, I'm double tapping in that box to change it. Let's go ahead and put down 11. So there we go. So if we were to put down 11, and I'm not saying 11,000, I'm only saying 11. If we were to put down 11, then that would take the payment on this program down to 288. Now, sometimes, because we do have some other programs that might work, sometimes people ask me, well, why do you start with the 99 if you have some lower interest rates? And the main reason that we do that is because this is the program that we get the easiest approvals from the bank on. So for people who have, average to above average credit, we are very confident that we can get an approval. So that way you can get your project done for a manageable monthly payment. However, if you have excellent credit, then we might be able to drop that interest rate down to a 699. But looking at these numbers as they stand right now, 288 a month is right where we want to be. So let me ask you about the 11 down. How do you feel about putting 11,000 down? Well, I really don't want to put down that much. Okay, I understand. And so let me just ask you, do you have a credit card or something that you do like to get points on? Yes, we do. Okay, well, we can do a credit card for the deposit. So let me just ask you, what would you like to put down? And then they'll say, well, really, I'd like to put down nothing. And then you want to try to get something out of them for a deposit, because you can negotiate the deposit instead of having to negotiate the price or the size of the project by having to go to a partial. So I'd really like to put nothing down. All right, I hear you. We all want to, spend our money as wisely as we can and hold on to as much of our cash as we can. And so, but the reality is to be able to get to the payment that you want, we're going to need to do something. And so, what would you want to put down? All right, so what would you want to put down? And I want to make sure that I use the word want. Don't say, what could you put down or anything like that. What would you want to put down? Real light, real easy. What would you want to put down? Well, I don't know, maybe 1,000. All right, well, I mean, obviously that's going to make it kind of challenging with the payment. Yeah, went up to 500 a month. So let me ask you, how is your credit? Is this, is it worth looking at a 6.99% unsecured fixed interest rate loan? That do you feel like that's something you could qualify for? Yeah, we probably would. We have good credit. Okay, well then let's do what we can make work. So we want to do 1,000 down, and now I'm speaking very assumptively. All right, we want to do 1,000 down. You want to do 1,000 down. All right, but I like to say we because we're a part of a team. And so we want to do 1,000 down. And with your excellent credit, let's see what happens if we switch to that program. All right, so that gives us 467, not quite where we want to be. Ooh, all right. So if we do the 6.99 program here, now remember, this is no prepayment penalty, unsecured money. So this is only attached to your good credit. It's not attached to the house. There's no lien or second mortgage or anything of that nature. And you can pay it off as quick as you want. So the reality is the 273 falls right into that range, actually below the range where we wanted the payment to be. You only have 1,000 to put down, and you can pay it off as quick as you want. So you don't have to run it out the full 10 years and recognize, you know, the interest that would accrue during that time. You can pay it off in 2, 3, 4, however quickly you want. But the reality is if we go in and we look at the promotions that are available, we can take off 30%, and that's going to be good till the end of the month. And then we can also take off an additional 10% if we're able to get your project started today, giving you a full 40% off. And that'll lower your payment down to 159. So looking at that there, we have a lot of flexibility with what we could do. With your 1,000 down and with the available promotions, we could go back to a shorter term rate, do a 5-year program, and then your payment's coming in at 272 a month. All right. So now that you kind of know how it works, let me just ask you, you know, we know the 1,000 down is something that feels good. What about for the payment? Do you want a longer term so you have a lower payment, or do you want a shorter term, and are you willing to take, you know, like the 272 that still falls below the 280 that we were talking about earlier? And Steph, you can take yourself off of mute now. All right.
Okay.
And so at that point now, we have satisfied, we have satisfied their concerns. We got the down payment where they wanted it to be. We got the payment where they wanted it to be. And we helped them understand the programs that are available. And if you notice, whenever I was scrolling in here, whenever I was scrolling in here, I don't want them to see everything, but even if they do, you see that these the programs that are on the screen right now are only the 99, 99, 69, 69, 69, 69, and 0 interest. So they won't even see that down here. You have to go all the way down here to get to the 299 and the 499. So they don't even have to see that. They don't even know that you have it. And you don't need to go there. You only go there whenever you absolutely have to. And whenever you absolutely have to, you give me a call, and you have written in there that manager approval is required. And the reason that you're giving me a call is not because I'm going to require you to give me a call. That's just for them to see. It's so that they know that this is just not something that they can have, because you're going to be giving up some of your commission if you go there. And I want to protect your commission, and I want to get something out of them. And if they are going to get that, they are going to buy today. If they're going to get that 299 or that 499, they're going to buy from you today if they're going to do that. And so I want to get on the phone with you, and I'm going to role play with you. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I'm going to ask you questions like, you know, okay, Stephanie, is this a neighborhood that you think that we could get more business out of? You know, were there a lot of neighbors that needed to get their windows done? And then you're probably going to say, oh yeah, there was a lot. Well, Stephanie, I want you to ask them if they have at least 3 friends or family in the neighborhood or close by, because if that's a good market for us to be in, then if they're willing to give us at least 3 people that they can say, hey, you know, Stephanie did a good job, and they're going to, you know, introduce us to them so that we can see if we can help them, then that would be step 1 in using one of these programs. So will you put me on speaker and let me ask them that, or even will you ask them that for me? And at first I'll want to ask them, that way you don't have to, you know what I wanted you to say. So I'll probably just have you put me on speaker. And then I'm going to say, hi guys, you know, I'm Isaiah, I'm the director of sales, you know, who am I speaking with? Oh, this is Tom and Sally, you know, whatever. And oh, okay, great. Let me ask you first. And you know, Stephanie can look away. She doesn't have to see the face you make when I ask this question, but how's she doing? How's she doing so far? You know, and oh shit, Stephanie's great. You know, Stephanie's awesome, blah, blah, blah. They're going to say all that. All right. Well, you know, I mean, if that wasn't the truth, I hope you would tell me, because one of the things we pride ourselves on is providing an excellent level of service. And so I'm happy to hear that you're happy with the service that Stephanie has provided you so far. But it sounds like you guys want to get your project going. But let me ask you, you know, there's some interest in some of the very low interest rate programs that we have. Yes, you know, we would do this if we could get that, you know, whatever. All right, I understand. Now, One of the things that we do not do is we do not charge our customers for financing. But whenever we have to use one of those programs to help a family get started, it costs the company a lot of money. It hits our bottom line, and we lose money doing that. All right, money that we should have earned. Now, we're willing to do that if you're willing to give us a couple of things. And so can I have a conversation with you about that? And then they'll say, yeah, sure. And I'll say, all right, according to Stephanie, that this looks like a really good neighborhood for us to be in. There's a lot of people who have need, and we could probably get a lot of business out of there. Would you agree with that? I'm kind of role playing this for myself out loud right now too, since we're recording it, because I want to get good at this conversation. And so, would you agree with that statement? And then they'll say, yeah, she's right. Everybody's windows are bad. Okay. Hold on, I'm lighting my smoke. And so then it's like, okay, well, that's good news for us. We're in the window game, so that's good news for us. So let me ask you this then. If we're going to give up profit on a project, we need to get a couple of things. So are there maybe 3 neighbors that you could introduce us to where, we can have Stephanie or one of our other representatives go out and spend some time with them, just like she did with you here today, and provide the same level of excellent service that she's already given you. We won't embarrass you, I guess, is what I'm saying. Are there 3 maybe friends or family that you could introduce us to where we could see if we could possibly earn their business? And they'll say, oh yeah, sure. Okay, great. That's great to hear. That's step 1. The other piece is this is the marketing costs a lot, and lead acquisition costs a lot. And so what about putting a yard sign in the yard for 3 to 4 weeks after your install? Would you be willing to leave that up if your HOA will permit it? Yeah, sure. You guys can do that. Okay, great. All right. So then the last thing that I would need from you is, once we complete your project, and I have, you swear on a stack of Bibles that you will go online, and we can guide you through the process, but you'll go online and leave us a review. Or I might ask them for a handwritten testimonial letter, and then they'll say, yeah, that's something we can do if you do a good job. And hey, I'm saying once we're done with your project, and not today, but yeah, absolutely. So you can promise me those 3 things: that you can make an introduction to at least 3 people, that you'll leave the yard sign in your yard for a month if your HOA will allow, and you'll give us a handwritten letter of recommendation that we can share with other homeowners like yourself. Yes, we will do all of those 3 things. Okay, Stephanie, you can feel free to use any of the programs that are down there at the bottom. However, whenever you write the agreement with Sam and Dave, I need you to put down in the notes a record of this conversation. You need to put those 3 items. So I'm going to say it one more time. The 3 items are an introduction to 3 people, so 3 referrals, and then a yard sign in their yard for a month, and then also a handwritten testimonial letter. So can you make sure that you put that in the notes on the contract for me? And then you'll say, yeah, I can do that. Okay, great. And then I'll say, hey guys, congratulations. Welcome to the Lifetime family. You couldn't be in better hands. Stephanie's going to take absolute great care of you. So have a great day. Good job, Stephanie. Congratulations. And that's what I want to be able to do there. Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. So
okay, good.
Yep. I'll wait till this is over and we're not recording. And I have a question for you today about today, I mean.
Okay, so we can do that in a second. Let me run through it just one more time, all right? Actually, no, because you've got it recorded. You'll be fine. You can go back and just reference the recording. So if you don't have any questions about this specifically, then I'll go ahead and stop recording and we can talk.
This is huge because I didn't even know I had this in my, I had Russ send it to me after the appointment.
Here, hold on. Let me stop recording real quick.